Welcome back over to our first guest tonight is a three-time Grammy Award-winning musician and the frontman of Maroon 5. He's returned as a coach on The Voice, which airs Monday nights at 8 here on NBC and streams the next day on Peacock. Let's take a look.
You guys are both awesome. I wish I was talking about my own team right now. No, singing Chaka Khan's like no joke. You're gonna sing Chaka, you gotta like do exactly what you just did.
That's right.
Thank you so much.
Now, unfortunately, you've gone up against Renzo. I got blocked by John Legend, and I've been regretting it and bitching about it ever since.
True.
You have this unicorn energy because you can kind of do anything, but you do it with this really amazing kind of graceful edge. I would be shocked if you didn't make it all the way to the end of this thing.
Please welcome back to the show, Adam Levine, everybody! However you want to do it. However, it's your call. It's welcome back,
It's
buddy.
so weird.
It's weird. I don't know quite why we have the couch, but
It's kind of asking you.
yeah,
to
we're
lay.
inviting. Do you want to talk or do you want to talk? Talk. It's so great to have you back. Look, you have you announced a new single, Maroon 5, new album coming,
It's all
tour.
coming. It's all coming. It's all coming.
I feel weird because I think that when you announce something like that, people say, "What can you tell us about the new music?" Do you like talking about the music other than just letting people hear the music?
I would prefer they hear it.
Yeah.
Because talking about it feels kind of silly.
Yeah.
Like, but you should hear it.
I have to explain it before you hear it.
It's really good. Okay, there's this one song. But yeah, it's. I think it's nice to talk about the process of making the record,
Yeah.
and it was really different this time around because we really got back to the basics of how we started, and as time went on, songwriters came in and we did a lot of collaborations with a lot of different people, which was amazing and led to an amazing run of hits and all that. But this was kind of back to just the organic, kind of simple, all created in-house.
It must be a fun thing to collectively realize that that's an option available to you, which is like to go
Yeah.
back to where you started. It must
Yes.
just be exciting.
Yeah, and people, especially my band, was like, when are we gonna just do it us again, And I was like, but we're doing so well. Why do we have to? Why do we change the formula? But it just felt like
We should all share a hotel room.
yeah. Ooh, 15-passenger van.
But early days, I mean, again, it must have been really exciting, but I would imagine a much lower level than it is now.
Yes.
But I was gonna ask, do you remember the first time you heard one of your songs on the radio? Because that must be such a rite of passage.
Yes, I do. We were in Tucson, Arizona, at the Hotel Congress.
Okay.
Which, those of you that know what that is, which I feel like isn't a lot of people.
Yeah. Or they know and they're like, I will never speak of
They're
that.
like, ooh. He said Hotel Congress. Spooky, because it is a spooky place. But it was just like really run down. I think I've now found out they've remodeled it.
Yeah.
Made it like livable. But it was Tucson, Arizona. It was the dead of summer. It was 100,000 degrees.
Yeah.
And we were playing a thing, and our local radio station in Tucson was gonna like play the song. And so we were all sitting around, and I remember it was so hot. And we had to have the windows open when we slept because there was no AC in the hotel. It was such an old, haunty hotel. And it was so hot. And so we were sitting there, not moving so we wouldn't break into a sweat, waiting for our song to come on the radio. It was very old-timey.
Yeah.
I was like a dual knob radio.
Right.
And it came on, and it was like, I don't know if that was the only time that particular song would ever be played because it was back in the day before like Maroon 5 days. But I was like, wow, that is this. You never forget the first time that happened.
That's
The
so
coolest thing
awesome.
in the world.
Now, I would imagine the more success you have, and now you have songs that everybody knows, that the opposite side of the coin might be that you are somewhere, people see that you are somewhere, and they think what you want more than anything is for you to hear one of your songs. Does anybody ever play it somewhere you are?
It's a funny thing for someone to think that.
Yeah.
Like, I know what he wants.
Yeah.
He wants to hear his own music.
Yeah.
Front to back.
Right.
The first 10 seconds is like, I like meet it with that like, all right, yeah, great song. Yeah. And then like 45 seconds to a minute rolls around and I'm like, we can be done with this now.
Yeah. So your kids are, we're very similar in how younger kids are, 8, 7, and 2. They
7,
go to
and 2.
concerts.
Yes.
They know their dad's a rock star.
Yeah, my 7-year-old though lately has been like, I'm good. Like,
Yeah.
I don't want to come.
He's like, the road is a little too much for me now.
No, literally, she's been and she's just like, it's a lot. I'm
Yeah.
overwhelmed by it. I'm like, I get it.
Yeah.
There's nights when I don't want to do it either.
Yeah.
But my 8-year-old like gets like devastated and very upset if she can't come. She's
That's
all
very
about
sweet.
it.
And it's also very fun when you realize your kids are going to be different no matter who their parents. Like you think they're all going to be the same, and one wants to go and the other doesn't.
And they always keep you humble and they keep your feet on the ground by being like, I'm not so into you today.
Yeah.
I don't want to hear these songs right now.
You, this is very anti, I think, the stereotype of rock stars, but we're on the same page. There's something we both want that our wives won't let us get, which is a minivan. You actually want one.
So bad.
Yeah.
Like, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the best.
Have you tried? You probably tried the same things that I've tried.
Yeah.
I've tried being like, no, like, this is a good one. This is a good one for you to try out, which is when you go to Europe, like a fancy car service is a minivan.
Yeah.
It's not a SUV.
Right.
It's not a limousine. It's a super sick,
Right.
sliding door minivan, and that's what you're fancy, and you get in one of those. And so I tried to tell her that, and she's
Yeah.
like,
You're
don't
like,
care.
look, it's not lame. We're a European car service.
Yes.
What part of this don't you see is cool?
It's cool, man. But no, she's not into it, and I can't woo her with any sort of like custom thing.
Yeah.
You know, it's just not cool to her.
No, I get it.
Yeah.
I'm losing too.
I'll
I mean,
never
it's
win.
very nice that we have, we're married to women who are image conscious. So you did the first 16 seasons of The Voice, 6 years off, and now you're back.
Now I'm back.
And
Yeah.
it's fantastic. It's a great group. John Legend,
Yeah.
Bublé, Kelsey Ballerini.
I love them all.
I apologize for the question I'm going to ask you because I know everybody asked you it.
Hit me.
Do you miss Blake?
No.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's just not a memorable guy.
No. Oh, you don't miss him, and you also don't remember him.
I forgot who he was. I don't know who you're talking about.
Look, this show, it's an incredible format, and the talent of the people on the show is what draws people to it. But again, the dynamic between you and Blake was a really special thing.
Yes.
And it remains special. But you guys, and again, he was on this show, and he said something that started very sweet, which is he said, I think, want Adam to play at my wedding because his songs are so boring.
That's good.
Yeah,
That's good.
like nobody will remember that part of it. But
yeah.
you guys had to come to an agreement about like burning each other on camera, right? Because obviously
Yeah.
you're real friends.
First of all, he would be lucky to have us play at his wedding.
Yeah, of course. By the way,
He'd be lucky. All right? All right, Blake? I know you're watching this because you're not doing anything right now because you're not on The Voice anymore.
just like drinking a beer right now, being
Zach.
like, hey.
Zach, here's my guy.
But I mean, because it seems like you guys are both empathetic people. You must have decided at some point, like, hey,
Yes.
what we're gonna do out there is just in fun.
Well, what had happened was I guess we had just started to naturally, we just felt really comfortable with each other right away.
Yeah.
And none of us knew, when we started The Voice, man, like no one knew. It is now what it is, but back then, it was a mess. Like no one knew what was gonna happen.
Right.
They threw these 4 people in these 4 turning chairs.
Yeah.
And this is something we all know about now, but back then we were like, this is weird.
Oh yeah.
And so we all felt like part of this like team, and we were like, okay, here's the experiment. And so we started kind of dissing each other casually. And then we had a really specific moment where we were like in each other's trailers, and he was just like, I was like, hey, is there ever too far? Is there too far for you?
Yeah.
Is there an over the line for you? And he's like, buddy, you hit me as hard as you want. I'll never fight. You will never go too hard. And I think he pretty much stayed true to
Yeah,
that. He never,
man of his word.
yeah, I got more sensitive than he did.
One last thing, just because I've been doing a podcast with the Lonely Island guys, you know them well, and we did an episode about, it is my favorite digital short, which is I Ran So Far, one of the great cameos in digital short history.
And you guys were, I heard you guys talking about me, and I was just like, you guys were so nice to me.
The moment where you're revealed in that video is one of those great, because it's weird, when you do a pre-tape thing, it feels different than live, but it felt like everybody in the studio reacted like you'd just shown up in the studio. That's how well it was revealed.
I will never forget that whole experience. Was so wild, and we recorded it like in this like weird office because they didn't really have an office, and it was so much fun, and we stacked all these background vocals on it, and then we had it was just It's magic.
Yeah.
I'll never forget
Well,
that first moment.
We're still grateful that you said yes to that, and it's such
God.
a delight to have you here in person again. Thank you so much,
man.
buddy.
Good to see you, dude.
Let's see you too. Adam Levine, everybody, The Voice, Monday nights at 8 on NBC Streams, and next day on Peacock. We'll be right back with more Late Night.